Hey, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. So, I want to talk about an issue that I've been talking about a lot lately. I've been getting a lot of questions in regards to the GLP-1 class of medications and just having a lot of discussions about them in regards to weight loss. In case you guys are new to this channel, my name is Renee Michelle. I help busy professional women get into better shapes and better physical condition. I'm also a board certified nurse practitioner. So, in case you guys are not aware, the GLP-1 class of medications include Ozempic, also known as semaglutide. It includes Mounjaro and Zepbound, also known as tirzepatide. So these are the medications that are prescribed to people that have type 2 diabetes or suffer with obesity. So in this video, I am going to talk about some of the ways that these medications can help you to lose weight, but I'm also going to give you some tips on how to be successful in keeping the weight off and just really learning the behaviors that you need in order to be successful in your weight loss journey. So in general, these class of medications, they help to release insulin from your pancreas. They also lower the amount of sugar that's released from your liver. They slow down the transport of food from your intestines, and they also help to improve satiety or make you feel full. In clinical trials, these class of medications have been helpful in reducing cardiovascular risk, and they've also shown great improvements in helping people to lose weight. There are a few reasons why this medication helps people to lose weight. Number one, it slows down your food from moving through your intestines. So if the food moves slowly through your intestines, it means it's going to stay in your stomach longer. When your food stays in your stomach longer, it's going to make you feel fuller for a long amount of time. And if you feel full for a long amount of time, you're going to eat less, and you may not have the desire to eat as much because you feel so full for such a long amount of time. Additionally, when foods move through your intestines at a slower rate, sometimes this can cause some people to have nausea. And if you eat in the presence of being nauseous from this medication, sometimes people get sick to their stomach and they end up throwing up. So because they have this side effect, that might cause them to not want to eat, not to have, they won't have the desire to eat, and it causes people to undereat, and they end up losing the weight by way of one of the side effects of this medication. One of the other major effects that I hear from people that's taking this medication is they no longer hear the food noise. So this was a very new term that I heard in just kind of working with people who take this medication and even looking it up. Food noise can be described as an overwhelming or intrusive thoughts about food. These thoughts can make you think about food constantly. It can be very disruptive. You can either think about food in a positive way or a negative way. And the thoughts about this food is so consuming that it ends up leading to you overeating or really just having a poor relationship with food. So we all know that obesity is a common problem in America. More than 40% of Americans suffer from obesity or some sort of obesity related condition. So obesity is not just a disease of not moving or overeating. Certainly those two things contribute to it, but obesity a lot of times is much deeper than that. Obesity has to do with your emotions. Sometimes it can be related to trauma. People turn to food for all sorts of reasons. And it's not just, you tell somebody, stop eating and move more. You really do need to be mindful that obesity is a lot more than that. We have metabolic issues that cause us to be obese. And again, like I said, we have emotional and mental health situations that can make us more prone to having obesity. Our environment also plays a lot into what we're going to do as far as food and our behaviors in relation to being obese. In America, we have an abundance of food just in our, always, constantly. It's on commercials, we pass by it. We have so many over processed food in our environment, and we're around people who eat constantly, around people who talk about food constantly. I have at least 15 fast food places that are within miles of my home. Now you don't even have to leave the house to go get food. You can simply open up your phone, push a button, and you have pizza, fried chicken, Chinese, all whatever kind of food you want, overly processed, you can have it delivered right to your door. So it's never been easier to take in all of this unhealthy food as it is today. Aside from the obvious fat and additional calories that unhealthy and over processed food has, processed food is manufactured in a way that makes you want to eat more and more and more of it. It's hyper palatable, meaning that it's very desirable. It tastes good, when you have it. Has a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of fat, and all of those things kind of give you a sense of wanting more and more and more of it. So the more you want it, the more you eat it, the more you eat it, the more you want it. And you're in this vicious cycle of overeating and over consuming these highly processed food. And highly processed food has a lot of fat and it has a lot of calories. And that too contributes to weight gain and just having unhealthy behaviors in regards to food. There are published studies that look at the effects of eating overly processed food. In fact, one study in particular compared two groups. One of the groups had a diet that was full of highly processed food, and the other group had a diet that was unprocessed and more whole foods. So they studied these two groups for about 2 weeks. And at the end of this study, it did show that those individuals that had the diet that was rich with highly processed food, they ended up gaining weight at the end of it. They consumed at least 500 calories more per day than the group that consumed whole foods. The group that consumed whole foods, they actually lost weight. One of the things that I hear from women that I work with that are taking these medications is they have less cravings for these highly processed foods. The other thing that these women report to me is that they have a reduction in food noise. So these are very important, especially for someone that suffers from obesity. They suffer from the food noise and they suffer from craving these highly processed food. They're taking these medication that really reduces both of those things. The third biggest thing that I hear from people that are taking these medications is they actually want to move more. So that's very encouraging about these medications because they're having new desires that maybe they didn't have when they weren't taking the medications. So these medications actually make you feel full. When you feel full, you stop eating. And someone that suffers from obesity actually feeling full or getting to a point of satiety, sometimes that is difficult. And when they take these medications and they say, I now feel full or I'm satisfied with this meal, sometimes it's, that's a drastic change from the things that they're used to prior to starting these medications. Now, when you take these medications, you will lose weight due to the effects that I mentioned earlier. But there are a few concerns that must be emphasized. Some people lose weight too rapidly, and sometimes that can be a result of one, the side effects that come along with these medications, or two, if your dose is being increased too rapidly. The second piece of that is when you lose a large amount of weight in a very quick amount of time, you could also be losing muscle mass to go along with it. So not only are you losing the fat, but you're losing lean body mass, which you really do, have to be careful so that you don't lose the lean body mass. You want to lose the fat, but you don't want to lose muscle. So I encourage anyone that's taking this medication or you're thinking about starting this medication to make sure that you're working with a quality qualified healthcare professional that knows how to prescribe these medications, but also someone that's going to listen to you and listen to the side effects that you're having, and even listening to the concerns that you may have. And I would never discourage someone not to take this medication, but I would encourage you really to empower yourself with just learning about what this medication does, how it's going to make you feel, and make sure your provider is also working with you so that you're not going up on your dose too quickly, so that you are not faced with those horrible side effects that you hear in the news about taking this medication. So, some tips for success. In order to get something you've never had, you are going to need to do something that you've never done. You'll need to put off the old self, which is corrupted by deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitudes of your mind. And that comes from Ephesians 4:22 and 23. So I really believe that you have to put off your old self and put on your new self in order to really be successful at this weight loss journey. This is not a sprint. It really is a journey, a marathon, something that you really are going to have to take very seriously. Hey guys, so sorry for the interruption, but I just wanted to come on here and let you know the next Boss Baddies 6-week fit boot camp begins on Monday, October 21st. In this 6-week boot camp, you will get a meal plan, you'll get a workout plan that you can use at home or at the gym. You'll have weekly coaching calls, you'll have progress tracking and accountability, and you'll also have access to a private group where you will be able to ask questions and engage with other women that are on the same health and wellness journey with you. So if you guys are interested in joining my 6-week fit boot camp, please click the link in the description, and I hope to see you on October 21st. Number one, in order to have the most success with these medications, you need to take advantage of the food noise and the decrease in food cravings. So because you're going to have a reduction in food noise and you're going to have a decrease in the cravings, really use that time to hone in and focus on getting adequate protein intake. So I always tell my clients, make sure you're getting zero point 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. And when I say of desired body weight, what is your goal? How much weight do you want to lose, and what is your target weight? If your target weight is 150, 160 pounds, take that 160 and multiply it times 0.8. That is going to give you the amount of protein you need to eat each day. Now, from there, I want you to divide that by 4, because you really should be breaking your meals out into maybe 4 to 5 small meals a day, so that way you ensure that you're getting in your protein, and you know you're going to be full pretty quickly. So by not having 2 and 3 very large meals, you kind of ensure your success with being able to get your protein in with your 4 to 5 meals. Having this protein broken out over smaller meals is also going to ensure that your body properly digests the protein, and that you don't get frustrated that you're getting too full too fast. Tip number 2, make sure you are doing resistance training. I always recommend that you do at least 3 days of weightlifting for your resistance training. You're going to need to lift weights and do resistance training in order to preserve that lean body mass, but also increase your muscle composition. So that is going to help you to maintain your weight loss and to effectively lose weight. Tip number 3, make sure you are prioritizing whole foods. So while many people on this medication, they do report their cravings for processed food has gone down, some people don't get that decrease in desiring processed food. They still want to eat the processed food, but they just want to eat it in smaller amounts. So there's several problems with that. When you're still eating processed food, you're probably not getting enough protein, number one, but also you're not changing your eating habits. So one of the things that does contribute to being obese is eating overly processed food. By really just focusing on getting whole foods in, you are building up habits of eating better. And when you build up a habit of eating better, it's ultimately going to change one of those behaviors that contributes to you having obesity and having an unhealthy lifestyle. Once you have the habit of eating healthier, you will eventually have limited or no desire for eating unhealthy foods. And tip number 4, if you know or you're realizing that some of your relationships or some of your thoughts in regards to food and eating were unhealthy ones, you had some trauma in the past, you had something really devastating happen to you that really kind of triggered your overeating, I recommend that you see a mental health professional. Sometimes we do need to get real professional help in order to help us with these weight loss goals and to help you to really be able to understand some of the driving factors that you had that contributed to overeating and unhealthy behaviors. So I really hope that this helped someone. If you guys like this video or if you have any questions, please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because that's going to help me to continue to bring free content over to you. So until the next one, I pray for your health and your wellness. Be blessed, guys. Peace.